You like my fanny pack?
That's really nice.
My fanny pack's really cool. What about this slap?
That's my favorite thing that you have today.
This?
Yeah, my uncle was an actual rooftop Korean.
Yeah. So this shirt too. The guys at Kilo Tactical sent them to us because what had happened was on my Pride Parade excursion, I was wearing this fanny pack, and a couple people in the comments were like, "Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?" And on the Instagram, "Where'd you get that?" And I said, "Kilo Tactical." And the people at Kilo Tactical reached out and they were like, "Hey, we listen to your show." I said, "What?"
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I said, "Listen, do you guys, if you want to sponsor the show, we have different levels. We've got levels." And they said, no, don't worry. We'll send you some stuff. I said, "I don't want free stuff. I don't like that. I don't want free stuff." And they said, "We're going to send you some stuff." I said, "Fine. I'm going to mention you on the show though." And they said, "That's fine." I was like, "Do you have any, sales going on or any codes?" They were like, "No." I said, "Okay, but go to Kilo Tactical anyway, because they're friends of the show and they give you cool fanny packs."
That shirt's great.
And slaps.
Look at that guy. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Alex. You know one of my favorite Alex Jones moments? Somebody on Twitter who hates Alex because, they have no brain. How could anyone not love Alex Jones? They shared this before and after photo of Alex to try and prove that he was a fraud, but it's honestly ended up being the funniest thing on the internet. So he at the time he was advertising supplements on InfoWars.
Yeah.
So he took a before and after photo of himself after like 30 days. And the only thing that was different is that he got a spray tan.
Really?
And the person was like, "This is just proof that Alex Jones is a fraud." I'm like, this is just proof that Alex Jones is like the funniest person on the internet. He was doing like this pose and the second one, and it was like no change, just a spray tan.
I'm going to find it.
It was so funny. I think I bookmarked the tweet.
I'll put it here.
Because oftentimes when people post tweets about Alex Jones to try to dunk on him, they
have better tweets. We have better tweets to talk about.
We have better tweets to talk about.
What a week.
What a week. I got sick last week. My mom brought, I think she probably COVID, home from the hospital because my dad had surgery last week. And so mom had to go sit there and be there for a few hours for surgery and then pick him up and stuff. And she came back with sick. So we all got sick. Yeah. So I was out. And then what else happened last week? The end of Man on the Street.
The end of IDG on the Street. Yep, that was it. We moonlighted it. I keep on saying moonlight. We sunset it. We sunsetted it. People were saying, "No, don't take it off. We all loved it." The views didn't say that.
Did you though?
And I didn't take it off just because of the views. I just took it off, not invested in it.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to do it.
Well, the thing I always said, I thought you were such a natural on the street.
I am a natural at it.
Not that you can't do other on the street type things.
I am a natural at it, but there are other people who are even better at it. They do it. There's plenty of that type of content on the internet, and I'm fine not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, we can
maybe we'll do other things. Maybe we'll go to events or something like that, or
right.
Maybe not so much on the street, but IDG something. IDG something.
Yeah.
I got kind of blackpilled on the street.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why? Is everyone retarded?
No, I like talking to people.
Or are they mean?
I like talking to people.
Unhappy.
It's just the actual, the doing it. The doing it. I wasn't doing great doing it, Speaking of I'm doing great, what a great country.
What a great country. The celebrities don't agree. So yesterday was our Independence Day. And great day. Great day. Mm-hmm. Not a great day for celebrities. I just want to share some of the tweets and the videos that celebrities said about Independence Day in a, as they call it, post-Roe world. Mm-hmm. They make it sound like it's like apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Like we're living in a post-Roe world.
Dystopian.
Yeah, as if we're living in some sort of dystopian Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaidens.
Handmaiden.
Yeah. I never read or watched it.
Handmaidener.
Yeah, I don't care to.
Yeah, it never interested me. No. Ever. The storyline, like that looks so gay with the hoods and stuff. And
I also don't like that girl. The one from Mad Men.
I really don't like her.
She doesn't attract my attention.
She's not anything. She's not funny. She's not a great actress. She's not that beautiful. She's got nothing going on for me. Yeah. What do I know? I don't know, but this is my favorite one. So Jessica Chastain, I think she's an incredible actress. She is. I even hate to say this.
I think
I think she's one of my favorite actresses. I thought she was great in Thought she was great in Zero Dark 30. I liked her in The Tree of Life. It was a bit of a wacky Terrence Malick movie.
Sure.
I really enjoyed her in that. I thought she was good in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I don't know if it was Oscar worthy, but she was good in that. I even liked her in Molly's Game.
Yeah.
I like her. I think she's a good actress. To me, I think she's beautiful. I think she's one of the most beautiful. Like, she has that classic old Hollywood siren look to her.
Sure, the look.
You know, she's got the look.
Yeah, she's a fucking idiot.
She's a fucking idiot, man.
Yeah.
She is. She and maybe we'll put this
I'll put it up.
She's doing a picture like this.
I'll put it up here.
Saying,
I'll put it up here.
Happy, quote, Independence, unquote, Day from me and my reproductive rights.
Yeah. She lives in New York.
What do you think
She's 45.
What do you think is going to happen?
To her, nothing.
Yeah. What do you think
she can get abortion on demand all day, every day in New York?
And also just this idea of reproductive rights. Like, you have always had a right to reproduce whenever you want.
Yeah.
You just don't have a right to kill the baby that you do reproduce.
That's the propaganda. Reproductive rights. It's so funny. Yeah.
This is my favorite one, though.
Who's this?
Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, I didn't hear what she had to say.
She's wearing a t-shirt that says pro 1973 row.
Oh, is that the year that almost all the white guys decided?
Weren't they all white?
Yeah.
I think they were all white.
Oh no, was
there a black guy?
Thurgood Marshall may have been on the Supreme Court.
He was on the Supreme Court.
Maybe.
It was all men.
Yeah.
All old dudes.
Yeah.
But you're pro that world.
Pro that one. Yeah.
For when you want to wish America a happy birthday, but also want her to do better. To quote RBG, the decision whether or not to bear a child is central to a woman's life, to her well-being and dignity. It is a decision she must make for herself.
Oh God, it's so annoying. I haven't heard this yet, but shut your fucking legs. Shut your fucking legs. You don't want to have kids? Close your fucking legs. I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly. I was going to say the same thing. A little bit differently, but I was going to say the same thing. I agree. The decision whether a woman should bear a child is central to her life.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
So we're on the same page.
When you decide
RBG,
you want to have kids, open your legs up.
If you don't want to have kids, yeah, keep them closed.
Yeah, but you know that contraceptives, they fail. Condoms fail.
You know what doesn't fail?
Abstinence.
Abstinence.
It's also great when you're talking about abstinence because we're married.
Save it.
So
save it for your husband.
Yeah.
Save it.
Save for your husband.
For your wife.
For your wife.
For your wife.
I need the baby with my wife. That's the Alex sign.
For my life.
Yeah.
I want the vaccine for my life. He's coming on soon.
I hope so.
It is a decision she must make for herself. Yeah, no shit, RBG. Thanks a lot. It is a decision you should make for yourself. But you don't get the decision to kill your baby after you open your legs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Zoe, canceled.
Yeah, we should. I want to ask you something, because that one video that was on our TikToks about the hoes being hoes, was that a little bit of hyperbole, just kind of to grab people's attention?
What, hoes being hoes?
Yeah, or you're like, no, these hoes are hoes.
No, I mean, okay. In all seriousness, if we're going to talk about this seriously, let's talk about the phrase hoes being hoes seriously. In all seriousness, I think that America is dealing with a very insidious problem right now of promiscuous women, promiscuous men and women, promiscuity in general.
Yes.
I think that our society props up promiscuity and hookup culture and empty sex, and they sell it to us as if it's this empowering way to liberate yourself from the puritanical idea that sex is only for reproduction.
Right.
Sex is supposed to be enjoyable. That's how God created it. It's one of the most enjoyable acts meant to be enjoyed between a husband and a wife. And I do actually think that hoes being hoes is a serious thing that is permeating our culture and destroying American society.
Yeah.
Because you have men and women who are just sleeping around, throwing their bodies at each other. And then women especially keep just throwing their bodies at men, to men who don't care about them, to men who aren't ever going to take care of them, to men who probably at the end of the day hate them and think they're a joke because they're just a piece of meat to them.
Right.
And then what happens when you sleep around?
Yeah.
You get knocked up, you get STDs, you get really sad and depressed, and then you eat a bunch of food, and then you get overweight, and then you have to take antidepressants, and then your life is ruined, and then you go and complain about self-care and body positivity and anxiety and all that shit. Stop sleeping around. Stop sleeping around. Stop it. Stop. Your body is It is a temple. Your body and your sexuality is a special thing. So when I say hoes being hoes on TikTok, I mean it. It's probably a not nice way to say it,
right.
But I mean it. Hoes being hoes, like stop.
Yeah.
And then you won't get pregnant.
Yeah, to all the dudes too, because the common pro-choice male feminist supporter is really the guy that's only looking to have unrestricted sexual access to your body. He doesn't really give a shit about your autonomy or anything like that, or even remotely close to your rights, quote unquote, or anything like that. He just wants to bang you without consequence.
It's a
Ladies,
win-win.
I'm telling you, the guys that you want in your life are the ones who will step up and be responsible when something like this happens, like an unexpected pregnancy. Who are always the guys that will get down on a knee and they'll ask you to marry them, or guys that will say, hey, listen, I'll have to get another job if I'm going to support you. Like those guys are the ones that, not the ones that were saying, I support your right to whatever the fuck they say. I don't know.
I support your
Those
right to
guys are
kill
the
my
worst.
baby. So
Those
I have
guys
no
are the worst,
They
man.
are. They're the worst. They're
Women
the worst,
aren't actually attracted to that. Funny enough, I don't think they're actually attracted to that.
No, women are. They're not attracted to that. What they're attracted to is the fleeting idea of somebody wanting their body, because they're so depraved and they're so empty and they have no meaning in their life. And we live in a godless society that has a severe decline in organized religion. So people are trying to find meaning in something. And a lot of women find meaning in having stupid sex with guys who don't actually care about them.
Are they really happy?
No, of course they're not.
Here's a question. A friend Liz said this. She said this on a reel. She was saying that that I guess like the trauma of what an abortion does to the womb is incredibly significant and stays there. So that never really leaves. So if people keep on having these abortions and they're not really seen, I mean, I don't know how to best explain it, but she's like, we need to talk about the trauma that happens, because no one really talks about the trauma that happens and how it stays with women and how it affects them both physically and mentally. She's like, this is an environment which sustains and creates life, but if there's trauma still lingering around, a lot of things can go wrong. And I was like, ooh, I never thought about that.
There's a really great book I'll recommend called The Body Keeps the Score. It's a fat book with a lot of information about how trauma will resurface and cause a lot of physical ailments.
Yes,
I mean, ailments in general, but it will cause you to be physically sick. Dr. Charlie, who we're having on soon. I was just thinking about that, that's why part of his whole holistic treatment is helping people uncover their past traumas that they've never worked through, because it can often cause physical illness in the body. Which is why a lot of people who talk about the book, The Body Keeps the Score, they're like ultra lib and they talk about mental illness and how everyone has trauma and it affects their mental illness later. I'm like, well, how can you promote a book like The Body Keeps the Score and not acknowledge that the trauma that happens to your body in abortion is going to later affect you mentally? Like obviously, which is why some of the most wacky, like insane celebrities who talk about abortion all the time and they say, I had 3 abortions and I had bodily autonomy. Like, no wonder they're crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
No wonder they're crazy. Because
my favorite one of those is when Maya Hawke, what's her name? Was it, no, not Gwyneth Paltrow, Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's kid, the girl who's in Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
She went on some talk show and she's like, you know, an abortion is the reason why my mom was able to get to where she was and why I'm able to have the career that I have. And someone posted that on Instagram and someone commented Maya Hawke's sibling unreachable for comment because they killed her.
Oh my God.
I said, whoa. Pretty
just this whole thing about like, I never would have had this career if I didn't kill my baby. It's like,
yeah, like, oh, you're just basically glorifying your deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Like, good for you.
That, like, good job, Michelle Williams. Was that a little trophy worth it?
Yeah.
For killing your baby?
Well, again, they're idolaters.
Speaking of, like, Zooey Deschanel, who just posted a thing about pro-Roe world,
73.
whatever. She just posted a picture on her Instagram. She's been married like 3 times. Posted a picture on her Instagram of her ex-husband standing there with her boyfriend, both of them holding one of her kids that she has with her ex-husband.
What?
Yeah, and she's like, I'm so grateful to have these 2 men in my life who are so good with the kids. And I'm like,
wait, her ex-boyfriend or her ex-husband?
Ex-husband, who was the father of her 2 children, has a picture next to her current boyfriend
with the kids. Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are so sick in the head. You're sick in the head.
Yeah.
Parading around your kids with your ex-husband, with your current boyfriend, and acting like this modern structure of family.
Why do people do that? Why do they have to put their relationships up online?
Like, I would be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, I would be really, really embarrassed if I were her. But that's like something that they're proud of. Like Gwyneth Paltrow, the conscious uncoupling. We're closer as a family than ever. Okay, you're closer now that you're getting divorced.
Right, yeah.
We have more love in our family.
Why'd you stay married?
Stay married.
What's the difference? These people are fucking idiots.
Katy Perry, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
She tweeted on July 4th at 4:44 a.m. Baby, you're a firework is a 10, but women in the U.S. have fewer rights than an actual sparkler. Shaking my head.
She's so fucking stupid. I'm almost kind of regretful that I used to take photographs of her. She's a fucking idiot. How fucking stupid are you? How fucking stupid is she?
Well, here's my question.
Wait, say that again. She says sparklers have more rights than women?
Yeah, women in the U.S. have fewer rights than an actual sparkler. Shaking my head.
Yeah, a sparkler is an inanimate object, you dense brick.
Do you think that she actually believes this, or you think that
100%?
You think so?
100%.
You think she's just fucking dumb?
100%.
Has the IQ of a
it.
tampon.
Yes. What else does she do?
Yeah.
She sings words.
Yeah.
What else does she do?
Auto-tuned words.
Does she have kids?
Yeah.
Does Katy Perry have kids?
She has a baby with Orlando Bloom.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Named Daisy.
I don't get these people. I don't get these people that have kids that support abortion. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what
it doesn't quantify.
And what it is, it's the same thing. I talk about this all the time when I was an editor in the newsroom. All of the women who write the body positivity content are skinny.
Right.
All the women who write the abortion content are married and have kids. It's like they want you to do the exact opposite of what they're doing.
So it can support their stuff?
I don't know.
Supports their magazine?
Probably so.
Supports their website? It supports her music?
Maybe.
If she's like, you know what? I need the pro-choice people to buy my stuff. She used to be like an evangelical Christian too.
Yeah, she was a Christian singer.
Yeah, go back to that, Katie. Go back to that.
Yeah.
But if she did, she'd probably go to like some Presbyterian trans pastor, and then that wouldn't really work.
Some Unitarian dude.
Right. Oh, right. Right. The Unitarians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have lost your mind. I saw this thing on TikTok. I sent it to you. I DM'd it to you on TikTok. It was someone talking about how it was one of those kind of like Jesus was trans type of things. Hold on. Let me see if I could send this to you because I want you to hear it, and then I'll obviously put it up. How do you go to messages? Can you go to messages?
Yeah, you can. Hold on, I'm going. I got
inbox. Oh yeah, inbox. Messages. No, mentions and tags. Q&A. Can you go to your? Do you have DMs?
You mean on the TikTok? Our DMs?
Yeah, I think I sent it to you.
Oh yeah, I see it. You should. Okay, kudos to this mother. No.
You
know, Jesus actually wasn't white.
No. Oh yeah, that one is hilarious. But no, there was someone talking about gay Jesus. It's this pastor with blonde hair where everyone was just lighting him up. Like, this guy's really a pastor and he has people come to a church? It doesn't make any sense. I got to try and find it. This was a complete waste of time.
When people are like, hey, do you know Jesus wasn't white, right? You're like, yeah, every actual Christian knows that. Like, what are you guys talking about?
This guy's video is great.
We all know that.
Then follow him. Sounds like it checks off a pretty big box for you. I've been here this whole time. I didn't need to do a melanin count first. Here, I'll get you up to speed. He's literally God, too. I got bigger things going on. No, Jesus wasn't actually white. Then follow him.
Then follow him.
Well,
I like it.
My friend keeps sending me all these videos of women on TikTok who talk about their abortions. And I don't know.
We're full on. This past week has turned us into we're like this anti-abortion activists of TikTok that people go nuts over.
Because people are cowardly. Even some conservatives aren't willing to actually talk about abortion.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of the toughest topics to convert people on.
It seems like it. Well, it's because it's a very hard thing to be consistent on.
Right.
It's a very hard thing to be consistent on.
It is because they will often want to make exceptions for things like rape.
Right, exactly. I saw this really great video of this kid who was out in DC, doing man on the street stuff, which is really good. I forget his name, but I was just watching it. And someone was like, well, what about the 1%? He's like, yes, I agree that there should be exceptions for those. And I'm like, nah.
That ain't it.
No, it ain't it.
Because then that means that a child's worth is based on whether they're wanted or not.
Right, exactly.
Or whether based on the sins of their father.
The one thing that I didn't know how to properly deal with on TikTok, and I guess I did deal with it. I addressed it quite often. People were like, you're forcing us to do these things. I'm like, I'm not forcing anybody. I'm talking on a podcast. I can't force you to do. They're like, you can't force me to do. I'm like, I can't.
You're right. I can't.
You're going to end up doing whatever you're going to end up doing. I'm just simply advocating for the life of children and for babies to be born. That's all that I'm doing.
That's it.
Why don't you adopt 150,000 kids? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
And you know what you should, for all those people who are like, well, why aren't you adopting? It's like, for all of you who have the Ukraine flag in your bio, why aren't you in Ukraine?
Go to Ukraine.
Go to Ukraine.
Oh, you don't like gun violence? Go to people's houses and take them.
Oh, you don't like rape? Well, then you better be patrolling the streets to stop those men from raping those women.
The most common question that people were talking about, they were talking about force, they were talking about rights, and I said, why is rape wrong? And they're like, oh my God, are you seriously advocating for rape? And I'm like, why is rape wrong? Oh, because it's horrible, because it's an act of terrorism. I'm saying you're describing the after effects of rape. Why is rape wrong? Why is rape fundamentally wrong? Oh, because they're attacking a body that doesn't consent to it. I was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You got there, buddy. Good job. Leslie Jones. She's one of the most unattractive.
What did Leslie Jones have to say about abortion?
It's a little video. Should we watch it or should I read the transcript?
Read the transcript.
It's hard for me to say Happy 4th of July. I can't even say it. I haven't read this. It's hard for me to say Happy 4th of July because it feels like we're going back to slavery.
Oh, cool.
I can't even say it with a straight face. Abortion is worse than slavery. Abortion's worse than slavery. Well, I don't care if this hurts your feelings. I don't care. Abortion is the number one worst human rights issue that has ever happened on American soil.
Anyone who's pro-choice agrees with slavery. You know why? They say my body, my choice. It's exactly what slave owners said. Oh, that's my body. I can do with it whatever I want. I own that body. I paid for that body. That body's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. That's not slavery. It's not the same thing. It's funny that you're a white man. You're talking about slavery. I know. Cope harder. You agree with slavers.
Cope and seed, motherfucker.
They're like, someone was like, what does that even mean? And I just said, yeah. That's all I said. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's how I'm responding to a lot of people. Are you going to adopt kids? Are you going to go out there and adopt kids? And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to do it? Sure.
Yeah.
Just responsive with yeah. People love it. They can't get it. That's why I made a new rule over the weekend. I was like, I'm just going to put my phone down during the week. This is like my job. I'll respond to stuff. I'll do stuff on social media, but on the weekend, I just put my phone away.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday got through the whole day. Sunday, towards the end, I had it a little bit. And then yesterday we still had it, but didn't Independence Day feel a little bit weirder?
It was weird. I don't know. We were supposed to go on.
Didn't do much.
Yeah, we didn't do much.
Yeah, we went to a friend's.
We were supposed to go on a boat, but we weren't feeling well enough. And we didn't want to get people sick. But no, this is the best part. Leslie Jones's tweet has hashtag Happy Back to Slavery Day.
Yeah.
The 4th of July.
Like really rich celebrities feel that they're going back to slavery.
It's
must be nice. I want to go back to slavery.
If that's what you think slavery is, sign me up.
Get to be on SNL and be in horrible movies and still make a living from it. You make a decent podcast.
She's the one who got Milo canceled, right?
Yeah.
Because he called her ugly?
Yeah, and
or
that
he
she
called
can't
her
read.
A monkey.
That she can't read.
Can she read?
I can't read or write. Apparently, like the way her tweets were formatted.
Oh, so he was
just making fun of her.
The 4th of July is supposed to stand for independence and how a country fought for freedom. But this ain't land of the free. You've taken away women's rights. You're trying to take away voters' rights.
Who?
You're not representing anything this holiday is supposed to be about.
Who?
Then you know what?
The Democrats control the Senate and the House and the presidency. Who's she talking about?
You know what she can do? You know what? Leslie Jones, I will personally buy you a ticket.
To come on the show?
No, not that. You can come on the show, but I'm not buying it for you.
Oh.
I will buy you a ticket to move to any country of your choice.
Oh, the plane ticket. Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding.
No, I know. I've always thought the like it or leave it was a little bit kind of overused, but I agree with it. Yeah, you hate it here so much. Why are you here?
I will personally buy you a ticket.
Yeah, you can work here. Just don't live here.
Just like leave.
Yeah, go away.
If you really think...
Canada seems like, the safe haven for all these people. Why aren't so many people moving to Canada? They already live in California.
Lena Dunham said she was going to move there after Trump got elected.
Whoopi says it all the time. Joe Behar. Joe Behar.
Joe Behar.
Oh, God. What a horrible, horrible woman.
All right. This is the last one I'll share with you.
Okay, last
Do you know Jamila Jamil?
No.
She's a scum of the Hollywood earth.
What does she do?
She was on that show, The Good Place.
No.
It was not a good show.
Okay.
She's just this really annoying British Indian girl who dates James Blake. You know James Blake?
Yeah. What does she look like?
That's not her.
Jamila Jamil.
It's an unfortunate name. She blocked me and Candace because I was talking to her a couple years ago about coming on Candace's show, and then she ended up blocking me because Candace said something about trans.
Yikes. Okay, turn her off. Yeah.
She's really bad.
Yikes.
She's it's really bad. So she tweeted, or she put on her Instagram, Independence Day, unless you have a uterus, then go fuck yourself. And we don't care if you fucking die or if we derail your entire future and mental health day, I guess. Cool.
Yeah.
They act like being pregnant is like the most traumatic thing on the planet.
Right. It can be. Some people can have traumatic pregnancies, but it's definitely, that doesn't account for the whole. Listen, pregnancy results in two things naturally if you leave it alone: miscarriage or birth. Can't force people to be pregnant. You can't do that.
You can't force digestion.
You can't force digestion.
Forced digestion.
Yeah, it happens. This is also the common, because we've learned so much. I've learned so much about a lot of the certain tragedies that will happen along a pregnancy, like an ectopic pregnancy, a necrotic fetus. What do they call it? The sepsis of the what is it, of the ovary or of the uterus, like septic uterus.
Septic, yeah.
All these things, and people are like, what about these things? Those people need those abortions. Like, those aren't abortions.
Yeah.
And OBGYNs say that they're not abortions. And the people who are saying they are just lying to you. Like, people don't even want to. I had one person who was like, oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for saying. I'm not just, virtues. Like, someone actually said, thank you for saying that. I didn't know that. Yes. The reason why an ectopic pregnancy isn't an abortion is because that child, so unfortunately, it implants in the wrong place. Yeah. It's not a viable pregnancy. It will never survive. And if it gets large enough, it can cause a huge amount of problem to the mother, but they're not performing an abortion to save the mother. That pregnancy is no longer a pregnancy. So what they're just doing is they're extracting, I guess it's still an embryo. So they're extracting the embryo from the fallopian tubes. Right. Yeah. So it's not like, that's not an abortion. All those other things that are happening, those are miscarriages.
I'm telling you, women really actually believe. This is why
the left, cope is so weird.
The left is so good at what they do.
You're calling miscarriages abortions now.
They're so good at what they do because they're able to mobilize, and they really have convinced women that if you don't have abortions, you will die.
Yeah.
Because you're not able to receive life-saving treatments. Mm-hmm. Women actually believe that.
I know.
They actually believe it. They'll actually say things like, okay, so now you just want women to die.
Right. That was all over the TikTok.
And here's my question. They never answer this. I'm like, if treatment for an ectopic pregnancy really is an abortion, are you saying that these were never performed before Roe versus Wade in 1973? You're saying that women never received treatment for miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy before 1973. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. They can never answer that because it's not true. It's never been an abortion. It was only very recently categorized as an abortion because the abortion industry worked with the federal government to expand abortion and to desensitize the public about what abortion actually is. So that's when they started medical coding things like a miscarriage as an abortion. I've had a lot of women message me and say that they were really fucking pissed because their D&E after a miscarriage was marked down as an abortion.
Really?
Yeah. And so a lot of women have abortion on their medical record and they had a miscarriage.
Wow.
And the medical system marks it as an abortion just because it was a D&E.
Really?
It's fucked up.
I wonder if they get money for that.
That's exactly my point, is that the federal government funds and props up the abortion industry on a daily basis. And that's why we have ended up with things like treatment for ectopic pregnancy and miscarriage being categorized as abortions.
Yeah, and they're just simply not.
They're not.
Right?
And abortion is worse than slavery. It's worse. Leslie Jones.
Yeah, I mean, at least you get a chance to be alive. You didn't even get a chance. Ram Dass, we were listening to this because Carly was saying, I think Ram Dass said something about abortion. He says I think he said something along the lines of people who have abortion, unenlightened people are the ones that have abortions. That's what he said. But then he also said that, I believe it was his guru that said something along the lines of people are born and die at the time that they're supposed to. I said, oh, well, that's interesting. But then he said something along the lines of unenlightened people are getting aborted, just because, spiritual people, especially someone who was formerly Christian like Alan Watts, and then you have Ram Dass. I don't think they like abortion. I don't think they do. Look up Ram Dass on abortion, RAMDASS. I know a lot of our Christian brethren will disagree with me here. And that's fine. But what did he say? There's a quote that's attributed to him from Grist of the Mill, his book that.
It just has a ton of episodes to listen to.
Yeah. So go down to if you eliminate, is that it? If you eliminate choice, you take on response. Abortion is killing a potential human. That is the point when Ram Dass once asked why. Here, yeah, read that out. What is it? Oh no, I read this. This is a bad article. I don't remember what I was getting to, but I remember him talking about abortion recently. And then on one of our walks, we listened to the podcast where someone talked about. He's like, hi, my girlfriend had an abortion. I'm holding on to a lot of guilt. What should I do? And he was the underlying message that he gave to this guy was just like, you have to be there for her. You kind of have to. I understand it's a really kind of terrible thing to have, and the guilt that you carry is understandable. The only thing that you can do is listen to her and support her. And the whole time I was just like, oh, fuck that, I'm gone. If that was me, I'd be gone. But then, from a Christian point of view, what do you do if someone you're dating, especially if you're Christian, you don't know if the other person's Christian, what do you do if someone has an abortion? Your partner, what do you do? Do you stay with that person? Do you love that person even though? How does one approach that from a Christian point of view? Mm-hmm. It's interesting because a Christian will be pro-life, anti-abortion, and scream about it all he wants. But I'm wondering what would happen, or if there are any guys out there who have been with someone who has had an abortion. What did you do as a man? Mm-hmm. I'd be very interested to hear about that.
That is interesting.
Do we still have sympathy? I mean, if it's done behind one's back, then that's probably a hard thing to reconcile.
This is why you just don't have sex till you get married, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't. It would make everything so much easier.
Nobody wants to have that talk, though. That's what kind of sucks. We live in such a nihilistic and narcissistic era where people just want to do what they want to do and think that all their actions have no consequence upon society, and it really doesn't. It's all about me. It's all about me all the time. That's what we saw at Pride, and what Pride essentially is. And that's it. The whole background of Pride, and even the definition of Pride is, and narcissism is, people just, they don't get the attention that they think that they need, so they act out in order to get that attention. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. So people, I think, are really hurting spiritually. I think they're really hurting, and they act out in these ways. They go scream about abortion, or they go walk in a thong in a parade and scream about "this is me."
Yeah.
I just think it's a lack of attention. It's a lack of love, really.
Yeah, they feel it's a serious lack of meaning. When you have no meaning in your life, you find meaning in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Like the LGBTQLMNOP people. Mm-hmm. They found a sense of belonging in this group that they never experienced anywhere else. This is why the decline of organized religion was only a bad thing for America. Only a bad thing.
Yeah, and it's why when you don't attack people, but when you attack their views, they get so defensive about it because that's their identity.
It's become their identity.
Their gender ideologies or their political ideologies are their identities. If you came after me and you said, well, you're a conservative, blah, blah, so of course you would think that that's who you are. And I was like, no, it's not, just something I think about from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that
it guides my principles and stuff. But
when you know who you are, and when you know where your self-worth really comes from, then that kind of stuff doesn't faze you.
Yeah.
But these people, they put all of their self-worth into their sexuality.
Yeah.
They've made it their identity, which is a sad thing. And a lot of...
Sorry. Well, this guy was thinking about, this guy was interviewing a girl at the pro-choice, some pro-choice rally outside of the Supreme Court. And she said, no uterus, no opinion. And he says, oh, what does your sign mean? And she says, well, if you don't have a uterus, you have no opinion. And he says, she's like, how did you get that privilege by having a uterus? Like, how does your uterus get that privilege? And then people without uteruses don't have that privilege. Where does that come from? And she was like, cause a woman's body, and because you don't have one, you can't. And she's like, no. And the kid said, no, but what took that away? Like, why is your uterus have certain privileges that my body doesn't have? She's like, because I'm a woman and I can have a baby, you can't. And he says, so you agree in bodily autonomy, right? She's like, yeah, we should have total bodily autonomy. And he says, from who? She says, from the government. And he's like, but the government never would allow you to have total bodily autonomy ever. Like, I can't rape you with my body. That's against the law. I can't take my body and kill you. That's against the law. You'll never have full bodily autonomy. And she was like, I think you need to leave now.
He's like, okay, bye.
Bye.
And also, like, it's always no uterus, no opinion. Okay, so then all the guys in the Supreme Court who decided Roe versus Wade, like, they don't have an opinion?
Yeah, you were super happy about it 50 years ago. I got to find this kid who did that video because I think he follows us. I think he follows our show. Go to the next subject.
We got to read the tweet of the guy who was at the Highland Park shooting in Chicago yesterday.
Cam Higbee. Does Cam Higbee follow us? Let's see. Cam.
That name sounds familiar.
Cam.
So a 7th person died. Oh, so now the death count is up to 7 people. 7 people died from the Highland Park mass shooting yesterday.
He does not follow us.
In Chicago.
I thought he did.
Oh, excuse me. So
MK Ultra psyop. You think? Do you think?
I don't know. It's just his YouTube was weird, and then it got taken down.
His YouTube's very weird,
very strange.
I'm also desensitized about these mass shootings. Honestly, I
know.
I always have been.
Well, this is why I'm desensitized. It's not because of the mass shootings themselves. It's because I don't know if you guys do this, but I often do this. I will just Google mass shooting or shootings in Chicago over the weekend.
Yeah.
Shootings in Philadelphia, shootings in Detroit, shootings in Atlanta. And if you look at how many people die every weekend in inner city shootings,
they only care about suburban white people.
They only care about it when it's like,
or it's a white person killing minorities.
I mean,
that's the only time that they care about it.
There are so many weekends where you can have up to 20 people in one weekend just die in inner cities from shootings. A lot of them kids. Like 4-year-old kids who are killed in a drive-by shooting. So, I mean, I'm desensitized to it, not because mass shootings keep happening, but because there's gun violence every single weekend in every major city across the US, and nobody gives a shit about it.
Right.
Nobody cares. Why? Because not enough people died in one place. Not the right people died, or not the right person was holding the gun.
I saw a tweet that said, shouldn't we learn from these shootings and these shooters, see where red flags pop up, see their mental state and stuff like that. But every time these things happens, what happens? The government and social media companies will wipe these people off the face of the planet. They don't want anyone looking into them. It's very odd. It's
really odd. I mean, there's this Twitter user, Crabman, at Crabcrawler1. He did this whole thread dissecting the shooter's YouTube channel before they scrubbed it. And Twitter deleted almost every single one of the tweets in the thread.
Really?
Yeah. And obviously,
for just describing it?
The YouTube channel was taken down. Look at this. Side thread downloaded the shooter's YouTube channel before Google scrubs it. Look.
Oh, they deleted all.
Wow. So just so I can explain to you guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's supposed to be like 20 tweets deleted in a thread.
Yeah. Is Adriano okay? He's standing up. Okay.
No, if something's wrong. So, I mean, this is crazy. They're just... Oh, and he posted a screenshot. What happened to this thread? Twitter happened.
Wow.
So they're taking down his tweets about the guy's YouTube
so
page.
We can't talk about it.
So you can't even talk about it.
That's disconcerting, isn't it?
So the guy's name was Robert Crimo, whatever. He went by the name Awake. He was
He looked not right. We watched that music video before we started.
Dude.
It's a creepy thing. I don't know why anyone on the crew worked on that, given the plot line of the music video. I had a friend send that to me, and he said, who shot this? Where was it shot? Who built the set?
Describe it.
Who were the people? It was just in a school. Someone built a set, like a school classroom, and the kid's in there, and he's just doing his whole like sad white boy rap SoundCloud thing, and then he reaches into a backpack, and then it cuts to him being like, to him literally glowing, which is I think code for like, it's a psyop. He's MK Ultra, and with blood all over the place, and I'm just like, who directed this? Yeah, police knew about him. Police always know about them. So yeah, if you think police are the only people that have guns but can't protect you from the people and criminals that have guns, you are sorely mistaken, and you're an idiot.
And this was so there's this guy who was at because this was a 4th of July parade in Highland Park. So there was this guy, his name was Hunter Stewart. He was at the parade with his wife and his 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. And he tweeted, I ran from a mass shooting today with my 2 little girls in my arms. We got separated from my wife. We hid behind a car and then sheltered in the apartment of some good Samaritans for 5 hours, watching SWAT teams from the windows. We are all okay, but we're angry, very, very angry. Like, look, reading that's terrifying.
Right.
That is absolutely terrifying to have 2. Like, I imagine my husband, like, if that ever happened to us somewhere, he was running around with 2 girls, with 2, like, if we had a second daughter, him running around with our 2 daughters while I get separated. Like, that's so fucking terrifying.
But the tweet didn't stop there.
But the tweet didn't stop there. Like, if it had stopped there, I'd been like, man, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Guy. Yeah.
Like, I feel for you. I feel for your wife and your kids. I'm so glad you're okay. And then
he owned himself on his own post. It's so funny. Go for it.
He said, okay, so the second tweet, you haven't read this one. It's funny when you're personally affected by the shooting, seeing people who aren't here try to comment on it, just so fucking ridiculous. Okay. And then this is the real kicker. I don't want to hear anyone blame this on mental illness, for example. There are hundreds of millions of people with mental illness who don't go shooting innocent people at a parade.
He just cell phoned himself.
Bro, yeah, this is what we've been saying for years. I don't want to hear anyone blame this on gun laws, for example. There are hundreds of millions of people with guns who don't go shooting innocent people at a parade. Like, you walked into it, bro.
Did anyone else bring that up?
Someone wrote the exact same tweet word for word, except they put in guns. Yeah. It's just like, these people are not serious. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not serious. You don't want to hear anyone. If you don't want to hear anyone talk about mental illness being related to mass shootings, then you don't actually care about the problem.
I find it, I just find it odd. I don't know. I don't have the same thought process, but I rarely post, photos of my family having a great time. I don't know what compels someone to post about this traumatic event that happened to him.
I was thinking
in a very weird, like, virtue signally way. I would never do that. If I was involved in this, I would never talk about it publicly.
I would never tweet that. If we got involved in a mass shooting,
well, he wants people to feel sorry for him so that he can, hit the grand slam he thinks he's hitting. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe I would understand if you shared your experience like after a couple weeks.
Right.
Let the dust settle. Like, make sure your family's safe. Like, what his daughters went through is traumatic. I would not be on Twitter.
Yes.
Less than 24. No, not even the same day.
Yep. It's the same people that go on TV the same day of a mass shooting when their kids are. That's why I don't believe a lot of it.
He tweeted this at 4:40 p.m. on July 4th. It probably happened like a couple hours before.
Imagine you survive a mass shooting and your first instinct is to go onto Twitter to talk about it.
I mean, I just don't. I don't get that. I really don't get that. That to me is so sus. Like, the last thing that my husband would ever think about doing if that happened to us is get on social media.
Babe, can you go on Twitter and tell people what happened?
Can you just tweet about this, please? Can you just post a thread?
Whoa, Elle Macpherson.
She die?
No, email.
She's conservative.
Wait, what?
She's a supermodel.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Real name?
That's Regis's new team member.
It's not her real name.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, no.
I thought Elle Macpherson was emailing me. That would have been nice.
She very well may. She follows all the conservative accounts.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to do questions?
Yeah. Oh, should we talk about Jordan Peterson first?
If you
Getting
want.
canceled?
If you want.
Explain that, Juno.
Well, no, everybody knows about it for the most part. I would think if you're watching the show, everybody knows about it. But yeah, Jordan Peterson was canceled because he called Ellen Page, said, Ellen Page got her breasts cut off. That's what he tweeted. He said, remember when pride was a sin? Ellen Page got her breasts removed by a criminal doctor or criminal surgeon or something like that. And Twitter said no. And then he made a video where it's funny because he basically said Ellen Page should go to hell or something like that. I can't remember what he literally said, but he said something along those lines. But he was just saying, no, I mean, how else can I word the tweet? Because the tweet got taken down for like dead naming. He dead named her, something else like bullying or harassment or something like that. But he's like, if you're a man, Ellen Page, if you're a man, then how do you get your breasts cut off? It's biologically wrong and untrue. So you had to have been a woman. You know, women get their mastectomies most of the time from breast cancer. And he was saying a lot of these weirdos are now getting them to
be boys,
trans themselves. Yeah, to be boys, to transition. So he's just pointing out like a biological truth. And he was like, well, to hell. He said he would rather die. He's like, I'd rather die than delete the tweet.
Yeah, because he's not actually suspended. He's just in jail.
Right.
He can't tweet or do anything.
Right, until he deletes it himself. Right, exactly. He said he's not going to do that.
And then Dave Rubin tweeted his support, and now Dave Rubin is suspended.
Yeah, I don't really care to spend too much time on it. I mean, it's just...
I really liked Juno.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I used to like Ellen Page. You know, at one point, like she was kind of like my type. You know, kind of like short and a little squirmy. You know,
she was a hipster.
Big eyes
for a while.
Yeah,
big eyes. I cried in Juno.
Oh, a lot of people were asking us too to talk about CERN. You didn't really know.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, CERN is CERN's the European Institute. Look it up. CERN is the European Institute for Nuclear Research or Nuclear Energy or something like that, and they're turning on the Large Hadron Collider or Large Hadron Collider, or however you call it, the LHC, and all they're doing is just basically making these subatomic particles collide into each other at speeds faster than the speed of light. So they say. I think it's all fake. I really don't care. A lot of people think that it's going to bring about some nuclear disaster. You know, you can only wish based that they're in Sweden. So yeah, I don't care.
Whoa, this just came up 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan says on his show, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. I've had the opportunity to have him on my show. Oh yeah,
I talked about this yesterday.
I've said no every time.
Yeah, he's such a fucking loser. Like, this is where I just like, dude, you have a great show. Why do you say these fucking things? He's so dumb.
Why would he say no to having him on?
Because he's like, I don't want to support that. I don't want to push that. You'll have Bernie Sanders on. You talk about how you're friendly with Trump Jr. all the time. But it's just like, dude, like, who cares, man?
Yeah, you don't need to be a supporter of him. It's so lib. He's so lib.
He is. I don't care what he says about guns. I don't care what he says about anything else. I'm kind of over Joe Rogan. I don't kind of care anymore.
Yeah,
he used to have good guests on. I kind of don't care.
It's just a bit gratuitous now, the 4-hour episodes. It's
no, but not only that, he just keeps on having like these former special forces operators who think that none of us should have the weapons available to us and that certain age people shouldn't be able to buy guns and stuff. Like, I'm tired of him like having those people. I don't care. I'm just kind of over Rogan.
I'm a little surprised that he would say this. Like, what a gay thing to say. I'm not a Trump supporter anyway.
I don't want to push that. I don't want to move people towards him. Cool, dude. You wouldn't have to. Like, yeah. Like, you think there's some like middle of the road voter that is going to change his mind on Trump just because he's on your show?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be a great show, honestly. Like, it'd probably be fun.
But what I don't understand is you have Alex on. He's like best friends with Alex.
Yeah. Whatever. Don't care anymore.
Let's do questions.
JD Michelieu wants to know advice to young women in a time of immodesty and feminism.
Say that one more time.
Do you have advice to young women in a time of immodesty and feminism? Close your legs, girl.
Yeah. I mean, my best piece of advice for women who don't want to fall into the trap of state-sanctioned promiscuity is stay off social media. Not stay off social media, but be very, very careful about what social media accounts you follow. Because I don't think women really get how much of an impact consumption has on us when it comes to our values. And because women tend to be more social creatures than men do, which is one of the reasons why the trans agenda with young girls is more of an issue than it is for young boys. Again, encourage you guys to read Irreversible Damage by Abigail Schreier. It explains why things like peer pressure, they have more of an impact on girls than boys do. Not to say that it doesn't ever have an impact on boys, but it has more of an impact on girls. So for young women out there who want to be modest and live the right kind of lifestyle, just be really intentional about who you're following on Instagram. Like I'm one of those people who like, I may be in the minority. I actually, in many ways, not in all ways, in many ways, I have a lot of respect for somebody like Kim Kardashian. She's built a few very successful empires, but I had to unfollow her because it's really gratuitous and it's incredibly sexual. And it's like, young ladies, you don't need to be consuming that kind of content. Don't even look, don't follow those celebrities. If you see like even someone like Olivia Culpo, she's like one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, but her posts are, it's like OnlyFans.
Oh, really?
It's just so...
I get that just from on the Explore page and seeing a lot of like the women fitness influencers.
Yes.
It's too much butt.
It's really,
it's
slutty.
You have a toned butt.
You have a toned peach.
Yeah.
Great. You do a lot of hip thrusts. Awesome. So ladies, my first piece of advice would be very careful who you follow on Instagram and on TikTok and whatever. Be careful what you're consuming because you would be shocked how your values can very slowly start to change, or you'll start to question them when you're following all the sluts on
All the
Instagram.
sluts. Yeah. Okay, here we go. This is actually a really great question. Nothing to do with politics. Snowboy lost on the Hoth wants to know favorite movie stack at home and or at the theater. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Favorite snack at the theater is popcorns. Popcorn. You get a tub of popcorn or a bag, however big or small. But then you take the Bunch of Crunch, the Nestle Bunch of
I knew
Crunch.
you were gonna say that.
And then you mix it into the popcorn. That's great at the theater. At home, Carly makes those like the dessert mugs, and we like those.
The
chocolate chip
protein
ones,
mugs.
the brownie ones. Those are great. What are yours?
I mean, I'll tell you what we ate during the last movie. We had cinnamon raisin coffee cake.
Oh.
But at
That
the
was at
theater,
home.
that was at home.
Yeah.
At the theater, it's just popcorn.
Okay.
Just plain old popcorn.
Do you put butter on it? No, right? That butter's disgusting.
It's not real butter.
It smells like vomit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll put a little bit.
Ugh.
My husband likes it.
Yeah, Adriano likes the butter on his popcorn. Nice.
He likes it, the oil. Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people actually on the YouTube video and on Instagram were saying how they wanted Adriano to drop that guy who threatened to break his camera.
Someone threatened to... Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
They just wanted to see it.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you're ever going to see my husband break someone's knee is if they take a swing at him.
Right,
So
yeah.
you have to cross your fingers for that because it'll be very entertaining.
Someone, Red Pill Conservatism says, will you invite Liver King on your podcast?
You know,
I don't care.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I feel. Everyone says a lot about him. I don't really know enough. Like,
I don't care.
whatever.
Yeah.
They say he's a fraud because he doesn't actually liver or something.
Who knows?
Whatever.
Worst lib take on Independence Day from Twitter, probably Jessica Chastain's.
I would say Katy Perry's was even worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Katy Perry's was pretty bad. Let's see. Single most asinine, this is James Anderson White, he's really cool. Single most asinine row argument. Mine's to have sex is to be human from a dude. So that's, I guess, what someone said to him. It's like, you can't take, I've heard this. People are going to have sex. You can't take away sex from us. So the single most asinine row argument, well, it's the one that they scream is my body, my choice. That's the single most asinine argument just because it is not your body once you become
here's
pregnant.
the most asinine one. They say, you can't force a human to donate an organ, so you can't force them to give birth.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest one.
Yeah.
I don't even need to unpack that.
No, you
because
don't.
It's so fucking retarded.
Yeah, it is pretty. Do you think Roe v. Wade, this is from Tanisa Yamamoto. Arigato.
Oh, yeah,
Tanis.
I know Tanis.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Is she Japanese?
Yeah, no, her husband is.
Oh,
I think that's her husband's last name.
darn it. Do you think Roe v. Wade getting overturned will sway the midterms in the Dems' favor? No.
I don't know.
No. Well, it depends on where.
I know. I think it will. This is why I always say one of the reasons the right loses a lot is because they don't know how to mobilize the way that the left does. And the left is going to mobilize the
I don't know.
shit
There
out
are
of the
already people
midterms.
who are winning some seats in blue areas that are
I
Republican.
hope I'm wrong. I do.
Yeah. Do you? Here's for you because you actually lived there for a little bit. Do you? I'll give my answer first, but because it's very short. Do you think Australia is salvageable? Don't care. I don't care about Australia.
People really care about Australia. I mean, I lived
Maybe
there
this
for
person is from there.
a couple years.
Jack-
I don't think it is. No.
Jack Kunich, 13.
No, I don't think it is.
Justin Gichaba wants to know, what was your first job ever? My first paid job that I actually got paid for was a caddy at a country club when I was maybe 12, 13 or 14, can't remember. But then my first paycheck ever, I think I used to work at a Carvel. It was like
I
my first
love
paycheck job
Carvel.
was a Carvel, yeah, in Carl Place, New York, yeah.
My first job was I started teaching piano at 14.
Nice.
And I had little yearly
Paycheck or under the table?
under the table.
What was your first paycheck job?
That wasn't, because I taught piano from 14 until I graduated high
Wait,
school.
so have you ever had a paycheck job?
And then I was in college when I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. When or what was it?
What was it?
Like the call center?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For college?
Yeah.
Hey, I need to speak to someone in the registrar's office. That was you?
No, like I think you're asking for donations, like fundraising.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Cold
nice. I don't really want to answer that. It's a nice, well, okay.
Was it under the table? when I was-
James_Christopher. Favorite emo bands? Laugh out loud. Mine is brand new. Do you like emo bands?
No.
Okay. I'll go Taking Back Sunday. Here's Grefferson. I like her. I think it's a lady, Grefferson is, because there are two people in the picture. I think it's a girl. What is one thing each of you wants to accomplish by the end of 2022?
In like 6 months?
Yeah. I'd like to finish my screenplay. I think I can get it done. Like actually get a final draft done. Well, not a final draft, because a final draft would probably still be, going on through pre-production. So at least a good first draft. It's gone through many iterations. I think it's on the right path though. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I want to completely migrate my health and fitness group from the Facebook platform to Mighty Networks, which we're doing very soon. So
Nice.
link in my bio. I'm linking my Instagram bio if you want to join our group.
Someone wants to know K1CKM3, is Gina Calvinist?
Yeah, I don't know enough about Calvinism.
Okay.
I know because they're all about predestination, right? I would say probably not.
Okay. What would you say to those that claim celebrating, this is from Ben Yaffe, what would you say to those that claim celebrating America is about slavery and genocide? Well, that they're ignorant. Try and find me one civilization that has ever existed in humanity that has never had genocide or slavery.
Well, look, let's actually unpack that, because I get a lot of questions about this. A lot of people ask genuinely, how do I respond when people say that the founding fathers owned slaves or whatever? A piece that people always forget is that when America was founded,
1776.
the founding documents were released and there were still slave owners. What people don't understand is that we were violating our own constitution by even owning slaves still at the time. So it's not like they think that the Constitution was written in order for people to own slaves. Like, no, it was not. We were violating our own Constitution.
Well, I think less than a year after the Declaration even, I think 1777, I think Vermont was the first state to abolish slavery.
Yeah.
They said, we're not moving forward with this.
And a lot of people, what do you say about the founding fathers, some of them owned slaves? I know people don't like to hear this, but like a sin of the time is a real thing. So here's an example. Like today, if let's say that somebody you really supported committed adultery, would you never vote for them again? Probably not. You'd probably vote for them again,
right?
Because it's you would like let it slide, or like it wouldn't completely change what your opinion is about them, right? Back then, adultery was like an offense that you could die for, literally die for, like a sin of the time.
Yeah.
Back then, adultery was like one of the worst things you could possibly do. Like people would literally die
shunned
for it.
from
You're
society,
shunned.
could be killed. Yeah.
Today, it's like a non-issue.
Oh yeah.
So a sin of the time is a real thing. Like obviously, slavery was wrong. Yeah, it always was wrong. But does it have to do with the founding of our country? No. Why? Just because it was happening at the time?
Right.
Explain to me. I still have yet to hear an answer to this. Like, how was slavery involved with the founding of America? It wasn't.
No.
Not at all. So that's what your response should be to people who talk about the founding fathers being slave owners.
Coolest ginger ever. Do you still support Trump after him supporting the jab? He's number 2 on the recipients for Pfizer. Ew. I almost like don't look forward to the 2024 election. I just kind of
like whatever.
Yeah. Someone
Honestly,
before asked us, Trump or DeSantis? I don't want to think about it right now.
Especially because so much can happen in politics in 2 weeks, let alone 2 years.
Yeah.
Like you just never know.
A lot of the things I don't like Trump because he supported like banning bump stocks. I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, there's a lot about Trump that's just stupid.
There is.
There's a lot.
There
I
is.
mean, people, they
Still
think,
have him on the show.
yeah, definitely a lot of it. I think he's still hilarious. One of the best.
I like these questions
ever
from
in
Coolest Ginger Ever.
politics.
Your best tips to combat inflation. I mean, grow your own food. That's really like, that's the only thing that I could think of if you grow your own food. But how many people are in your household? If you don't have a lot of room to grow your own food, you probably can't. You don't have any animals on your property either. You can't survive on, cucumbers and tomatoes. I mean, you could.
You could.
But not optimal. Gas is expensive. I'd say limit what you buy. You don't necessarily get rid of what you want, buy what you need. It's probably the best advice I can give in inflation.
Yeah.
Like, what else can I say? Mike, why are you a pit bull apologist? Matthew 0521. I like them. They're cool dogs. Moving on to
I like them.
Pound for pound. Any plan for healthy and safer alternatives to abortion? What does that mean?
I don't know what that means at all.
Any plan for healthy and safer? What's an alternative to an abortion? The only alternative to an abortion is to give birth. Right. I mean, do I have any plan for healthy and safe ways to give birth? Go to your OBGYN, go to your doctor.
Look,
I don't know, have them monitor your pregnancy.
Maybe this is what this person's trying to say, but I'll say this. If you are anti-abortion like we are, I would strongly encourage you to donate time, money, or resources to local crisis pregnancy centers, to local nonprofits that help moms and women and babies and families in need. Because if you don't want women to abort their children, it is our responsibility to look after our own communities and make sure that women in our communities feel like they are supported. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, even if they're not supported, it's not a reason for them to kill their baby, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
yes.
if you think that the federal government shouldn't be involved in your everyday life, because they really shouldn't, then it's up to us. It's our responsibility to care for women in our community, which is why, I mean, I was going to say but I'm going to start volunteering at a crisis pregnancy center.
Yeah, we should. I mean, a lot of women have abortions because they feel like they don't have anyone in their lives who's supportive. Like, that sucks. That kind of hurts.
It's awful. And I mean, this is one of the downfalls of this like American suburban life, the nuclear family, everyone's separated and isolated from each other. And then you have a lot of women who are alone and they don't have any support because they don't have support from a community or from family. So it's up to us to support them.
Andy wants to know, how will you talk to your kids about LGBTQ? I don't, they would have to be at an age where they'd have to be old enough to understand. I think like if my daughter, when she's 6, asks me about what is a gay or lesbian, I don't know how I would approach that.
But they're probably going to ask us sooner rather than later because of everything they're seeing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's an abomination.
Honestly, I'm going to be looking to Christopher Yuan because I know that they have like a kid's guide to holy sexuality coming out soon. And I'm definitely going to look to that for guidance on how to talk my daughter through gay.
What qualities to look for in your partner as a conservative guy? Okay, thanks, Alvy. Listen, when it comes to, first of all, I'd say don't look. Qualities to look for. Okay, so qualities to look for. When I'm saying don't look, I just mean allow life to happen. You don't necessarily have to be out there on an odyssey to find a woman. But good qualities to look for: honesty, loyalty, integrity, and intelligence. 4. I think 4 things.
Honesty.
Loyalty, integrity, and intelligence.
HLII.
HLII?
HLII.
Hill.
Heel.
Yeah. It's kind of the qualities you look for in anybody that you want to spend time around, really. But in a partner,
I would also look at what her relationship is like with her family.
With her father specifically.
Yeah.
Then with her mother.
Too. And look at what her mom looks like.
Yeah, that's also a good indicator too. Look at what her mom looks
like. Carly's mom looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, she's young. She looks young. She looks good for her age. Hear that? But yeah, that's what I would say. And it's also like, it sucks because if you're a conservative guy, you'd obviously be looking for a conservative girl. Don't look to really turn anyone.
Also, big thing, men, always find a woman who takes responsibility for her own feelings. Mm-hmm. I know that's a very difficult one to find because women are just like empowered today to blame everyone else for their problems, to blame everyone else for their feelings. The last thing you want is a woman who constantly blames you for her feelings of insecurity or her feelings of anger or any other emotion that comes up. You need a woman who is mature enough to take responsibility for her own feelings.
Yeah. Lady Elaine, on the next podcast, can you guys tackle this ridiculous, quote, vasectomies stop abortion, unquote, nonsense? Yeah. Guys, it's like, you guys got to get vasectomies, forced vasectomies.
Don't do that.
Tie your tubes up. I'll get a vasectomy when you tie your tubes.
Don't do that to yourselves, guys.
Don't have sex. It's so easy. It's dumb.
It's really not that hard to not get pregnant. Can we just talk about that for a second? It is not that hard to not get pregnant, even if you're having sex.
Yeah.
It ain't that hard. You wrap it, or I'm not going to be explicit, but it's not that hard to not get pregnant. My gosh.
Yeah.
Is it? I'd never been pregnant before I got pregnant with my husband. And
me neither.
I didn't wait until I got married. I wish I did. Ladies, you should. But I did it, and I never got pregnant. It is not that hard to not get pregnant.
But it happens. It does happen.
And if it happens and you have a beautiful blessing.
Yeah.
A little baby.
Here's the thing, and I know a lot of you guys will disagree with this, but I'm not against the plan B. I'm not against the plan B because the plan B doesn't kill it.
It doesn't stop. It halts fertilization.
Right, exactly. So the sperm are on their way like, woo, we're going to go. And the plan B is like, nah, son, chill. Cool. Right? So it doesn't kill the fertilization. It doesn't kill the sperm and the egg being able, it stops that. That's what it stops.
Right.
Okay. I'm fine with that. If you have this weird epiphany, oh my God, probably shouldn't have done that, go get the plan B. It's $40, $50. If having a baby is the worst thing that can ever happen to you in your life and you'd be willing to drive 500 miles across state lines, spend all the money to get an abortion, what's wrong with having some plan B in the backup program?
Plan B.
That's why it's literally called plan B.
The plan B. Plan B.
Get the plan B.
Get the plan B. Plan B.
That's why it's not that hard to not get pregnant.
It's not that hard to not get pregnant. Are you guys are you okay in the head?
But see, now we're propping up the pharmaceutical companies who make the plan B. We're just giving them, these lights are on.
Were they not supposed to be on?
Oh, no. They're never really on before. They look good. They look all right. What do you think, Adriana? It kind of looks all right.
They look aight.
Yeah, it looks warm, right?
Warm.
Oh, wow. The lights are on. Okay. A couple more questions. Is the Grateful Nation a monarchy? No.
Oh.
It's not. It acts like it, but it's not one.
What are we?
We are a
theocratic fascist society?
Well, because think about it. No one votes in the Grateful Nation. We ask for suggestions, but we don't ask people to vote. So we're not a democracy.
No.
We don't have a constitution, though we probably should. We are in a way a republic. I think that we represent the views of our citizens. Maybe a future constitutional republic. Maybe a, what do they call those monarchies or dictatorships? Benevolent dictatorships?
Benevolent dictators.
Maybe we're benevolent co-dictators.
Benevolent. 11 benevolent elephants.
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool.
Listen, I also floated the idea of the what is it? The IDG Men's Club.
Hey, that's a good one.
I got the idea. There's a golf course on Long Island called the Garden City Men's Club, and it was exclusively, I even think still to this day, it might be, but it's always been a men's only golf course, country club, men's only. And I think my dad did some caddying there back in the day. But yeah, I said, you know what? Let's have a place where the guys can get together.
Do both of your brothers like to golf too?
Yeah.
That's cool.
With the IDG Men's Club, I think if it gets big enough, we can maybe do weekends. We can have like little weekend excursions.
That's cool.
Maybe do some camping, maybe do some shooting, but just stuff where guys can get together and kind of talk to each other and build a brotherhood of like-minded individuals. I think that could be fun. No psychos allowed, please. But yeah, I think it'd be a cool place to meet once a week, and we can have live chats. I'm going to assign book readings. I'm going to assign movies. We can talk about music. We can talk about culture. We can talk about politics. We can talk about fatherhood. We can talk about husbandry.
You can have guests.
Maybe. Yeah, we can have guests. Yeah,
Like
sure.
do guest live streams for the citizens with passports.
Right, the citizens with passports. Listen, it's available on Locals. So if you have a Locals membership, you can have access to the IDG Men's Club. However, this will specifically be a men's club. No women allowed.
Yeah.
The women can get all the other great content that we do on the Locals.
You can come to my women's group. I have a women's group already.
You do have a women's group.
It's called The Shift. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. The IDG Men's Club. I like it already. I want to get a nice logo design for it. I think that'd be cool.
I think that's a good
merch
idea.
For it. You know, you have it.
You guys do your
people keep on asking us about merch. Do we know when we're coming out with merch? I said I don't want to rush it soon. We got some stuff coming. So like,
we have stuff coming.
I don't want to push the merch just yet. I want to wait till it's nice. Yeah, is that it?
Macy Gray says that changing parts doesn't make you a woman, and now she's being called a TERF. Now remember, driving in your
I mean,
car,
Bette Midler said something similar, but Bette Midler is also like a raging psychopath. So it's again, we come back to this point. Can people who we disagree with say things that are all right?
I mean, the thing about Bette Midler is that she's probably going to apologize soon for it.
Oh, right.
This is, well, just for those of you who are catching up.
I saw the Macy Gray video clip, but what did Bette Midler say?
She said, she basically said that women are being erased, and she's not wrong, but it's only a matter of time before she apologizes. She says,
this is yours.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Women of the world, we are being stripped of our rights over our bodies, our lives, and even of our name. They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators and even people with vaginas. Don't let them erase you. Every human on earth owes you. Oh, wait, what about the Aubrey Marcus one?
Who's Aubrey Marcus?
Aubrey Marcus is the On It guy who, the plant medicine guy.
That's my comment was great on that.
What did you say?
I said, what in the my wife's boyfriend is this?
Lol.
Yeah.
I couldn't, just to catch you guys up to speed. Aubrey Marcus is he's a dude.
He's a supplement guy, right?
He started a company called On It, and Joe Rogan was one of like the founding partners.
Makes sense.
And he is just, this guy is obsessed with, number one, polyamory. Mm-hmm. And number two, with plant medicine. Yeah. So for a while, he was engaged to this woman named Whitney, and she was like, she called herself the first lady of On It, and they were, in an open relationship. And
that ended, right?
One day she announces, she's like, we are expanding our hearts and trying to figure this out, and I just want everyone to know that I have a boyfriend now, and yes, I'm still engaged to Aubrey. And then of course, like 2 months later, they break up.
Yeah, those never work.
Yeah, but anyway, he shared this photo of like, he does a lot of not guys retreats. He does guys too, but he does a lot of retreats where they all sit around and take plant medicine and then apologize to each other. And so there's this photo of all these dudes on their knees apologizing to women for all of their past oppression, which is like, are you gonna like, okay, great. Everyone was oppressed back in the day. I don't get it. Like, everyone was oppressed. Men were almost more oppressed. They had to go and fight and die and lay down their lives and go through all this violence and shit just to bring you women food.
Yeah.
And protect your babies. And so you could be the first off of the Titanic. Like, I want to be the first off the Titanic, and then you ruin it.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to be equal and go to the office from 9 to 5 too. Why?
Yeah.
I don't want men to apologize. I want men to get me off the Titanic first.
I think it's a really big head scratcher and shovel to the face when women really see what being a woman is all about and they can't handle it and it makes sense. But when you think that you're supposed to be this career person for your whole life and then you have kids and then you're like, this is horrible, I don't know how to deal with it. Yeah.
Also,
because you were lied to your whole life.
Also, if you are one of those people who thinks that women should be valued by their male partner, like that in and of itself should be a reason for you to explore Christianity. Because let me tell you something. Before Jesus came along, women were, and children were disposable. They were very disposable. I mean, like everyone who wasn't like a land or slave owner was disposable. Men too, but women and children just blanketly were disposable. It was super controversial and it was unheard of when Jesus came and demanded that men love and cherish their wife and lay down their life for them the way that Jesus did for the church. And he compared Jesus as the groom to the church, which is the bride. And he demanded that men treat their wives with respect and with love and with care and literally lay down their life for their wife, who they should value just as much as Jesus valued the church.
Wow.
So this at the time was unheard of. Also, when Jesus came to earth, children were incredibly disposable. So when he was preaching one day and the kids came running up to him, and the disciples were like, no, keep the kids away, because kids were like second-class citizens. They were like, use them for slave labor and like toss them into the pit if they weren't good enough. And Jesus said, no, let the children come to me. And then he said something really, really controversial. He said, nobody is going to get to heaven unless you have the heart of a child,
right?
Unless you have childlike faith. And he even went as far to say that we need to adopt the faith of a child and the heart of a child. And he welcomed the children to come listen to him. So if you are really, really that mad about the way that women and children used to be treated, then you should love Christianity, because the whole idea of a woman being valued by her husband came from Christ. And the whole idea of children being a blessing and a gift and not to be used for slave labor came from Christ. So all of you men apologizing to women at Aubrey Marcus's thing, maybe you should consider accepting Christ into your heart. Christ is king.
We're going to end with James Hueck, who said, no question, Christ is king.
Oh,
thanks, James.
Thank you.
Guys, like, subscribe, doinggreat.locals.com. I want to apologize later for the whole Randos on abortion thing. I remembered things incorrectly, so maybe I'll come back to that. But yeah.
We can follow up.
From what I remember, he said unenlightened people have abortions. And I was like, whoa. Ooh, okay, Randos. Baba Ram. Okay.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.